Well, we now have the first reactions for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, the only movie that I give any type of shit about whatsoever. Once this movie is done, there is nothing of interest going forward with the MCU. The only interest, I guess, is covering it strictly for YouTube. That is about it. There's really nothing of interest. This is the only movie where I'm just like, please be good. Just give us one last film with the Guardians that is good, and that's I'm quite happy with that. After that, the MCU can go fuck itself. That's kind of my thinking when it comes to Guardians of the Galaxy 3. But we have the first reactions from the critics that is probably worth having a little look over. The majority of what they say is kind of what I want to hear. It's kind of what I expect. But they say Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is a brilliant end to a brilliant trilogy. It's very funny, emotional, and everybody gets their standout moment. Will Poulter's Warlock is a terrific addition, yet the focus is rightly on telling a satisfying end for the Guardians. Now, my one hope is, I really hope they just kill all the Guardians, because I don't want some Rick and Morty writer touching them. So I'm quite happy if they all, if they all have a sort of satisfying death. I'd be quite content with that, just based on, I don't want any of your dipshits touching it. But some of the scenes, the clips and that have put out, I've quite liked. The comedy elements is mainly the clips that have been put out, and from what I've seen, I've quite liked the trailers. But it's kind of what I expect. It's got some good comedic elements. Where it fits, and not just all over the place like Thor: Love and Thunder, for instance. It's gonna have heart. That is probably what my prediction would be. So they're kind of saying things that I would expect out of a James Gunn movie, out of a Guardians movie. Just hopefully he doesn't take that to Superman. That's the only wish, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is more than ever Star Wars as a stoner comedy. Lovable weirdos, big Marvel action, and goofy jokes, but nothing can prepare you for all the emotions. Rocket Raccoon's origin story is beautiful and heart-wrenching. So that's, this came out a while ago. That's kind of, I guess, going to be the emotional beats of the movie, is to do with Rocket. Sort of how he came to be, and what he is now. It's probably the saddest and darkest MCU film, and a wonderfully rounded conclusion to Gunn's trilogy, where everyone in the fight against a mean but rather shallow villain gets their big moment again. I went with a preconceived idea, and James Gunn has managed to surprise me for good. It is darker and has even touches of terror, but is still very funny and with a lot of personality. Rocket and Nebula excel in a very dignified send-off. I hope you haven't spoiled that there. It has a spectacular action set pieces, is fun, entertaining, and emotional. It is a perfect and beautiful closure for its characters and the saga, and it's the best Marvel movie since Endgame. And again, that's probably another of my predictions, although I'd say best movie since Infinity War, because Endgame, fucking terrible. Pretty terrible when it comes to Endgame. Fine ending, I guess, but it's not a very good movie. So that's kind of my prediction for it. We are looking at the last good Marvel movie. I think after that we're pretty much done, because what have we got coming? We got the Marvels. I don't even remember what's coming after that. But just a load of stuff where I'm like, it's gonna be shit. That's gonna be shit. Because a lot of it has Rick and Morty writers making them, so not a good thing. So that's kind of what I think we're looking at, is the last good one. After that, I don't really see. I don't see it happening. I just don't see on the horizon another good Marvel movie coming. I think the only thing that I've heard good things about is Secret Invasion, the Disney Plus series. That's the only thing where I've heard people mention that they have read the script and it's pretty good. You know, say what you want to say about that. And I've also looked into who is making that, and it's something that maybe it has a chance. But I think just in terms of movies, we're probably, with Guardians, we're probably looking at the last one. I don't think they've got anything that will interest anyone once that's gone. But I suppose the interesting part of this movie is, you know, how's it going to do in terms of the box office? That's going to be the thing of interest. You know, how much damage has Marvel done that even Guardians 3 can't get anyone in the doors? I think it's just going to be one of those ones that, again, most Marvel movies now, it's all word of mouth. You know, as soon as people start saying, oh, that was shit, or that was good, then people will go, all right, I'll go and see it then. So I think it may start off kind of bumpy, but I think if it is good, then you're going to get more people going to see it. But then the question comes, is that going to flow into the Marvels? I don't think it is. You know, like we've seen with No Way Home, made a lot of money, and the next movie that came out, Doctor Strange 2, that did pretty well, I guess. You know, it's hard to tell considering the movie was reshot about 80% of it. But the only reason that made money was strictly because of No Way Home. Whereas I think with this, if it is a good movie and it does pretty well at the box office, that is not going to filter through to the Marvels. So I think it's just going to be the last thing, everyone's gone. Everyone's moved on. But let's see what else they say. Can confirm that I shed a tear during Guardians 3 and that I would very happily watch an Adam Warlock solo movie. Not at this point, you wouldn't. What else do we have? This movie, my heart is full and broken at the same time. It was a lot to process. A very complex story, but it left me feeling awesome. So that's kind of the first reactions to this movie. They're saying things that I would expect and I want. You know, I've got hope, shall we say. You know, some people may call me a fool, but I'm quite happy to take the chance on this one. The Guardians are definitely some of my favourite characters out of the entire MCU. You know, it's that heart they've got. You know, I really do. So that's why I just, come on. Just give me something. Give me something, a little send-off. I'm fine if you kill them all off, because I don't want no one else touching them. I do not want anyone else touching them. And, you know, I think even for James Gunn, this is something that he probably, you know, he wants it to be well received. If this turns out to be a terrible movie and the way it's received is poor, it's not really going to go well for getting any hype for his DCU. So there is reason to actually make sure this is a fucking good one. But I think we're looking at the last one, the last good Marvel movie. After that, I've got no interest other than covering it, other than watching it so other people don't have to. That's the only sort of interest I have in it after this movie's out. But I guess we'll see. In a couple of weeks, I'll be breaking it down on the Saturday after it comes out. But, you know, hopefully we've got a good one there.